Hey guys, and welcome back to Smash Time 2. Okay, so, I'm aware it's been a little while, but we are indeed back in the saddle. I will get to why I did not film videos anytime recently, or at all during like the past few months in a moment if you guys really care about that. For right now though, you guys read the title of the video. This is a very fun video we're doing today, so I'm sure most of you know, most of you that watch my channels are a fan of these shows anyway. The Ghost and Molly McGee is a Disney animated show released in 2021. I did not write any of this down, so if I get any of this info wrong, feel free to correct me. And had its most recent season end just a few weeks ago, which unfortunately will be the last season ever because I think it got canceled. I should have looked this up ahead of time. But I actually quite liked when it ended. I felt like it ended at a good time. Because season 2, up until the last like 5 episodes or so, did feel kinda eh. And then it definitely picked up the more we got into the Scratch storyline that I liked a lot. But that is not what this video is about. If you want me to talk about this show, I'd be happy to do a review on it. Those are just kind of my brief thoughts on what happened in season 2. But since finishing the show, a few days later, I decided I wanted to do this video specifically. So, there is 95 songs, according to the Molly McGee Wiki, plus a few extra ones that weren't even included. But I got a total of 95. I'm sure there's more, I'm sure there's less, whatever. But we're doing 95 songs today, one of which I actually forgot a number, so we're going to talk about that when we get to it. I'll kind of add like a weird little slide in there somewhere. I don't know. But essentially what's going to happen is in the bottom left corner of the screen there's going to be the number and the name of the song, as well as there will just be an image displayed on the screen while I briefly talk about it. No, I am not playing music from the official songs, and no, I'm not showing footage from the songs, because I would like to keep this video up on the channel. These videos, especially with music, and especially with Disney, it would just stand no chance. So I'm sorry, I'm not even going to try. You're just going to get regular background music. I don't know, probably some video game music I like or something, while I briefly talk about the songs. So, if you are ever wondering what a song sounds like after I talk about it, or maybe even before I talk about it, I do encourage you to either A, watch the show and go through all the episodes again, or B, just look up the song on YouTube and listen to it. That's what I did. And honestly, it's a really good way to kill an afternoon. You're bored one day, just listen to the songs, maybe make your own ranking if you really want, but I am not going to be showing you them here. Obviously, this should go without saying, this is my opinion. If you disagree, good. I hope we don't have the same opinion on all these songs. Once again, if you want to make your own video, or even your own list and show it to me, I would love to see it. But as a disclaimer, I would like to let you know I am not at all musically gifted. So when I talk about, tempo or beat or lyrics in any of these songs, this is not coming from a place of profession. I don't know what any of that stuff is. If the song sounds good, or I like the visuals in it, which is not really a big factor, or I like the song itself, that's how I'm going to rank it. I will be talking about, ooh, this one has a good beat to it, or ooh, the lyrics in this one kind of stink, But take that with a grain of salt. I don't mean any of that professionally. Alright, so at this point we're going to jump into number 95, or I guess 94. But real quick, you guys can skip ahead a little bit in the video if you don't want to hear this. I'm going to be talking about why I haven't uploaded for a while. Maybe I'll even put the timestamp on the screen right now if you want to skip ahead. It doesn't bother me if you don't want to hear this. So, the reason I have not uploaded for 10 months, 11 months, I don't know yet, is not one simple answer. So, the first thing is, this used to be a monthly channel, and I missed a month and I kind of fell off, and I was like, oh, when I come back I'll do a big video, And that video just unfortunately never happened. I've made a few smaller ones, but I've just not been happy with them. A few show reviews. I even started a Molly McGee script for season 2 that I didn't really like, and instead changed it to this video, which I do like. Which kind of brings me to my next point. If I'm making a video for this channel, I want it to be something I am proud of. Something that nobody else does all the time. I don't want to be talking about show reviews. I like it. I really do. But I want to be different, you know? Everybody and their mom's going to be talking about, oh, season 2 of Molly McGee was blah, blah, blah. I want to do something different. I want to rank all the songs, you know? I want to do something that I want to do. Basically, for the last 10 months, I've been lacking enthusiasm, the urge to make any videos, and creativity. Nothing's really struck my fancy in the last few months. So, over the course of this channel, it's not going anywhere, but it is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be making videos when I want to for this channel. You know, the main channel already has 3 or 4 videos a month. This one used to have 1, kind of cutting that out. I will try and be more frequent than 10 months, I promise you that. But it might be a few months before the next video, and you guys are just going to have to bear with me on that. Okay, there you go. There's your little rant. Try to keep it brief. Why don't we get into the songs? Yay, I like the songs. So we got to go to number 95 here, or it's going to say 94 on the screen. I'm not going to be reading the number or the name of the song. I'm just going to be talking about it. If you want to see what the song name is, just look in the bottom corner. It's not that hard. All right. You guys ready to do this? I am. All right, let's get into song 95, the worst in the whole show, in my opinion. Editing me here. I'm not sure if I mentioned this. I did just rewatch the whole intro part. I didn't seem to hear it. I am including the theme song takeovers. There is 3 of them, Libby's, Daryl's, and Andrea's. But I'm not including any of the ones that are not part of the main series, such as like those chibi ones or those ones where they cross over with other characters. Just making that clear because 3 of these entries are technically not from the show, but they are sung by the characters in the show, so I counted them. Alright, now let's get into the video. Now this one being my last song on the list, number 94, should not surprise any of you, because I hate this song so much. A lot of the ones above it are going to be like, oh, the song's only 10 seconds, so I don't like it that much. Or, oh, this one's just kind of weird. No, this one's just straight up bad. I hate this one with a passion. Obviously, there's the whole toes thing, which is already gross enough. But it's the fact that in the song, we get like these really weird visuals of like Libby making toes and Scratch and Jeff as legs, and I'm sorry, that just creeps me out. The song itself, the lyrics are really bad, but I guess the beat is okay. But are you really gonna blame me for this one being last? It's just kind of creepy and gross and not a good song, you know? I don't like it. Next song. Yeah, this is a song that certainly exists. This one is incredibly irritating. At least it's not gross, I'll give it that. But it's just children shouting, "It's always sunny and sunny," like a billion times. And I'm sorry, but I can only take it for so long. I also don't really know what style they were going for in the video. It's like a weird chibi style. I honestly had to look up if this was from the main show or not, and it is. But wow, it is so annoying, and I don't even know if that's the right word. It is really bad. Do not watch this one. Just don't. Skip this one on your rewatch. Trust me. This one is literally just a 10-second one of them saying, "Told ya," over and over again, while Molly dabs on the screen. I'm sorry, it's the 3rd worst one on the list, because there's no substance, and the substance that is there is bad. I really don't like this one. It's nothing bad, especially compared to the last 3, but I just feel like whoever's singing is just yelling for half the song, and it really just isn't pleasant on the ears. Doesn't really fit the show, or the scene for that matter, so it's just kind of a bad song. Not a big Ollie fan, especially in his earlier appearances, so this song really doesn't do anything for me on that level, especially because it's from one of the weaker episodes of Season 2, and Season 2 has some banger songs, that we'll get to that. I do like the singer. I do like a lot of the, I think it's Atomic Pink, I think is the pop band, the K-pop band. They have a lot of good songs. This is not one of those. This one is not great. Again, from one of the worst episodes of Season 1. I just don't really like the songs from bad episodes. I really don't like the style they went for, and the song itself is just kind of bad. There's not a good beat, especially because I don't like the style. The lyrics are just bad. It's definitely one of the worst songs in the whole show. This one is just extremely forgettable. I'm thinking about it now. Those last 5 ones, I could at least picture them in my head while I was talking about him. This one, I have no idea what it was, but according to my notes, it's supposed to be like a country song, and unlike the Kenny Starr country songs, it doesn't really do anything for me because they don't commit to it. It's just kind of like a generic poppy country song, and it doesn't really fit the scene at all. It's just kind of a song that exists in the show. So yeah, boring, forgettable, definitely one of the worst so far. This one's just really repetitive. It's it's the same words over and over again. It's nice to be nice over and over again until the minute's done. I'm sorry, I don't like these ones that much. This is a weird one, I don't even know if it counts. This is just a Livy solo song where she's talking the whole time. And I'm sorry, I really like the message of it, that, everybody has a voice, blah blah blah, whatever. But if we're ranking it as a song, it's not good because it's not a song. I honestly don't know if this one counts. If it wasn't on the wiki, I don't think I would have included it. But the wiki counted as a song, so I guess I have to. I guess I respect it, but not as a song. This one's just very repetitive. Another one that's just not very good, because it's just good luck, bad luck, bad luck, over and over again. Well, the world just shits on Molly for like a minute. And I'm sorry, but these repetitive ones just don't do anything for me. I guess it's catchier than the ones below it, but that's not saying a whole lot when the lyrics are the same thing over and over and over again. Stop it with these repetitive ones. It's just the word win over and over and over again. Stop, please. I can't take this anymore. I guess the rock style is better than the last two, but stop, please. I don't like these ones. This one you guys might disagree with, but I do not like this one. It feels like the most boring, uninspired song in the entire show. Like, what is the point of this? It sounds like they just hired some random pop star to sing it for them. It has no character, doesn't fit the scene at all, and the fart joke almost certainly does not help its favor. It's so short, they played it twice in the episode. This one also has very little character to me. It's very generic, it's the we gotta believe to win. I guess so far it's the song in the list that sounds the least bad, hence the higher placement. But again, not my favorite. Same thoughts as the last Atomic Pink song. It's nothing amazing, but at least this one's a real song, and it's a little catchy, I guess. But pretty much just the same thoughts as the last one, but this one's just a little better. Here we're entering neutral territory. This one is different, but not necessarily the worst thing in the world. I definitely wasn't expecting the dancey kind of song, like the cha-cha slide where you're supposed to dance along to it. I guess it's fine, but again, it works as a song for a dance, but if you're using it as a real song, it just doesn't do anything for me. Like, you wouldn't listen to the cha-cha slide for fun unless you're dancing kind of thing. I was very kind with a lot of the earlier ones, you'll see later in the list, but this one I just couldn't be nice to. They definitely needed to figure out what they were doing with this one. It's actually probably one of the worst in the whole show. It's really generic, the lyrics are not that great, and honestly, when they hit those high notes, it just kind of hurts my ears a little bit. It's a little too high-pitched, honestly. I think they could have toned it down a little bit. Another earlier one, and surprising absolutely no one, this one is extremely repetitive. Definitely a pattern you're going to pick up on by now, as well as some you'll see later with my rankings. Again, it's just a better version of When Is On My Mind. It's the same rock style, but I like it more because it's better lyrically, I guess. There's a little bit of different lyrics in there, This one really didn't grab me. I just spaced out the first time I listened to, and I just could not get into it the second time. It's really boring. I guess if there's one praise I'll give it, it's the visuals are pretty good, actually. But the song itself just isn't that good. Again, would not have counted this as a real song. It's definitely a 20-second background song, but the wiki counted it, so are we. And it fits the scene it's in incredibly well, but again, it's just a background song, so not going to be super high on my list. I was really disappointed with this one. I really like the style they went for with the whole 8-bit thing. I just wish they interpreted that into the music, and that there was more music sung by the characters. This one feels like ones where the characters should have been singing, especially because half of the song, I kid you not, like 20 of the minute-long runtime they have, 20 seconds I should say, is Molly and Scratch arguing over what backpack to pick. I'm sorry, but as a song, that is just a really bad choice. Also, for a song that's about Molly, Scratch, Libby, and Daryl, Libby and Daryl are just not present in the song. They get like one little scene each, and neither of them sang. So I'm sorry, I'm just really disappointed with this one. Grandma Nin somehow managed to carry the song without even singing in it, because everything else is just so unmemorable. I really wish the characters were actually singing. And there's just, it's not substantial at all. It's just a song that fills a song runtime. And I believe this is the only one in the episode, which is really disappointing because it's not that good of a song. Libby's singing actually surprised me in this one. In a good way, I actually liked it a lot. But man, a lot of those rhymes just feel forced and out of place. I feel like it was definitely, here's your script, read off of it, and there was not a lot of love packed into this song. I guess it's okay overall. I really like how the crazy stuff that's happening in the song is actually happening in the real world. It's not just like part of the song. I think that's really cute. But again, it's not actually part of the song, so it's still going to be going low down on my list. This is another one where I can understand people liking it, but I just really don't. This one's not for me. I also just don't really understand the whole egg thing. Like, I get you're trying to get them to do other stuff for you, so you're cracking eggs. But at the same time, is that like a saying? Do people actually crack eggs? That definitely stuck in my mind while I was watching it, so maybe that's why I don't like it. I don't know. I guess it's mediocre overall. This song would have been perfect for Molly and Ollie to sing in. I'm sorry, it's just not good without it. I feel like just getting some random, I don't know, nobody pop star to sing it just kind of ruins it for me. Like, there's the whole scene where they're playing drums. It's probably the little title sequence for the whole thing. And they could have actually been singing it, and this song would have been way higher. It also just kind of feels a little confused lyrically, like it doesn't know what it wants to be. Which would be fine. Again, if the characters were actually singing, I'd be able to forgive it. But as is, it's pretty low down on the list. So, yeah. Another one that's literally just 20 seconds long. I guess, looking back at it, it's kind of a disservice to all the songs below it. Considering those are like fully length out songs that I put a 20-second little jingle above it. But honestly, I kind of agree. I think that this is a pretty catchy little jingle, and I like it more than all the ones below it. So, yeah. Take that. Here's where I'm inserting the song I forgot. So this is Giggin' for a Livin', the one song I forgot to put on my list. And man, what a forgettable one to miss out on. I understand why I overlooked it. This one is just pretty mediocre. There's nothing substantial about it. I really like the toxic mold joke, but that's it. And if there's one little funny bit I like about your song that's not even a lyrical or melody thing, then yeah, you're going pretty low down on the list. This one's pretty boring. There is not a lot going on in this one. It's nothing crazy either. I'm just not really a big fan of the farmer song they did here. I guess the whole like game aspect, like the whole, oh, it's a relatable farm game, haha, is like relatable. But again, like a lot of these other ones, it's not part of the song. So the song is just not very good. This one's pretty funny, especially when Libby joins in. But other than that, not super memorable, and it really doesn't add a whole lot to the show or even the episode. It's like, yeah, he likes deep fried food, we get it. Like, it's funny, but pretty unnecessary. This was fine. It certainly does the job. It's decently short, and it's pretty similar to the other farming song, but just better, because it's about, like, a real person. And I think that's charming. Even though I really don't like Ezekiel Tugbottom. So that really doesn't do the song any favors, but I guess it's fine. It does its job. This is the first reprise on the list, so pretty much all reprises are either going above or below the original song, and with a lot of these, I just don't have that much to say. It's the same song, but it's just straight up a better character, and I think a lot of the lyrics are just generally funnier too. This is another one I think just doesn't really fit the scene. It's overall just generic. The voices, the words, the lyrics, whatever you want to call them, they're just not that interesting. If I just heard the song, not even knowing where it was from, there's no way I would have said it was from this show specifically. Which is more than I could say about a lot of the ones below it, because those do sound like they're from the show. I don't know. It's just, nothing screams at me in this one. It's just very boring. Again, this is one that I really like the visuals to. It's like that game one where I really appreciate what they did. I think that the theme song kind of parody style to it is really good. But again, it's one of the ones where if I just heard the song and I saw none of the visuals, it's just boring. There's nothing to it if you take away, like, the best part of the song. However, that best part of the song does carry it up to where it is now. It's not, like, an atrocious song or anything. But it's just... if I'm talking about songs I like from the show, this is not anywhere near one of my favorites. So this is one that I actually respect a lot, because guess what? The characters are singing in it, I know. Insane. It's crazy how much I like songs that have the characters actually singing in it. And honestly, this one makes me smile when I watch it. The song itself is not anything spectacular, but I can tell, like, for an earlier song, they definitely had fun when writing this. I feel like a lot of the lower ones just kind of are there to be a song. I feel like this one they definitely put some heart into, and I can respect that a lot. The first theme song, Take Over, and it's fine. Admittedly, there are some parts that are pretty funny and a little bit charming, but I just don't really like the main verse of this one. I don't really think it works. It also went on for far too long. Also, while in the other ones, the pausing section in the middle, where the character pauses to talk, are cute. In this one, it's about NFTs, and yes, topical, did just kind of annoy me a little bit, so that also doesn't do it any favors, but yeah. I guess the knockoff Disney show DVD thing was fun, but other than that, this one's not very substantial. This one is interesting. They had me at the title Abraham Lincoln Rap, but honestly, this one's not that bad. I think it's pretty cute for what it is, but it's short, and it is an Abraham Lincoln rap, so I mean, it can only be so good, right? Again, just like the Libby song and the period one, I like this one a lot for, like, the messages or whatever, but man, they could have done such a better song for this one. The highlight for me is the fact that they were able to put Thai words in there. I actually think they sound pretty good with the song, but then just the main verse itself is very loud and high pitch, and it's honestly just kind of an annoying song, all things considered. What a weird little song. You think the song called Inhappify would be a bigger deal than this one. No, it's just some random song in a random episode of Season 1 that they decided to play. It's generic. I do really appreciate that Molly's singing it. It definitely carries it above the ones below it. But it's just not something I really vibe to, if that's the right word. I don't know. I could say it's a good song, but it's just... I listen to it and I feel nothing. So it's, like, right towards the middle of the list, in my opinion. Another theme song takeover. This one also just doesn't do a lot for me. I really like the references to the canon when they're talking halfway through the song, because they did do a whole episode about how she can't sing, and then they're doing a theme song takeover where she's singing the whole time. That's fun. I like that. That alone is enough to put it above Daryl's theme song, but it's kind of got the same problems. It's just not really a good song, which is actually very disappointing considering they peaked with the first theme song takeover, and they slowly declined in how much I liked them. So if they did another one, I can't really say I would like it that much. I find this one more charming, and it's still a decent listen, but there's way better ones. Especially a better theme song takeover that we'll get to later, that you could be listening to instead. This is yet another song where I feel like if the characters were singing it, it would honestly be way higher on the list, but as is, I really like the episode it was in, but man, this song is just not great. It's the fact that they just get some rando guy to sing it with some funky beat instead of getting the characters to sing it in the show where the characters are from, and in the same show that we know these characters can sing really well in a very Molly-centric song, to just get some random guy to sing it not great, by the way, also not one of just my favorite songs to listen to from the show. It's just not good. It's fine lyrically, which is what takes it this high up, but man, they blew it with this one. It could have been so much better. I was not expecting this to be a Christmas song parody, especially because the episode itself has nothing to do with Christmas. but I actually like this one a lot. The reason it's this low down is because it's only 20 seconds long, but I'm putting it above the Fear of Nothing at All one just because the main characters are singing. Yes, it does really bother me that much. We are at the point where all the songs from here on out are at least decent, so it should tell you quite a bit that there is about 55-ish songs that I liked from the show, and only about 30 I thought were either eh or bad. So you know what? Good job, guys. You made 55 good songs. And we're starting with this one, Second Chance. Weird that they had two songs called Second Chance. Literally on the wiki, they're both just called Second Chance. So I had to assume one was Take a Second Chance on Me and one was Second Chance, parentheses, at Glory. But it doesn't matter. They're very different songs. I like this one a lot. One of the very few songs where I think the characters talking actually add to the song, which is something I cannot say about pretty much any other song in this whole video. But I like this one. Some of the lyrics are a bit questionable, especially when we get into the later parts of the song, but still a good song overall. Thumbs up. The only memorable part of this song is that it has a funny ending. So much so that I wrote nothing down in my notes beside that. So this could be the best song in the whole show, and I would have no idea. Yes, I'm not going to watch it again, because it's not one I'm excited about, but according to past me, quote-unquote, it is fun, but not anything memorable, and that's all I wrote. So I'm sorry if you wanted a more detailed explanation of this one. Here we go into the Kenny Star sauce, and honestly, not his best work. I do have a soft spot for country music, but honestly, this one doesn't even do that much to me. It's very generic, cookie cutter, get us introduced to this character, and honestly, there's better ones that he does later, so I'm glad this one committed to being country, unlike that weird Just Give song from earlier, I think it was. It was one of those weird ones. So yeah, it's fine. I like the country vibes, but there's not a lot else to it. This one's pretty cute. Not a lot else to say about it. The pimple lyric was a little bit strange, I'll give you that. But it's a cute little song. I like it. Another weird one, and another short one. This one is literally just a commercial, but honestly, I kind of like it. I really like those dumb medicine commercials where it's like, this may cause you death, and there's like the happy music in the background. A little bit different, but this one does heavily remind me of that, except for it's about buying like toasters and stuff. And it would work. I would totally buy a toaster if this was real. This is literally the definition of a song that's in the middle of the list. I have no other placement for it than pretty much directly in the middle. It is bland, but not bad. So it's forgettable enough, but at the same time, memorable enough to be in the middle of the list, if that makes any sense. Like, this song, there is nothing substantial about it. But at the same time, does that make it a bad song? Does it make it a good song? Where would you rank a song like this? It's just kind of nothing, but it's nothing in a way to where I can't say anything bad about it. So I'm putting it in the middle. I don't know. This one's a weird one. I really like how Molly and Ollie sing together. I'll put it out there. We've had songs with them together, but all the ones so far have been not singing together, which is a shame, because this one, they sing really, really well off of each other. It's a shame the song, other than that, is not very good. It can be repetitive at points and a little annoying, but the song isn't anything awful, and I think that the singers are really good, so hey, there's that. Despite being from that episode, I actually like this one a lot. I think the main verse of "Who's got the goods?" I'm not a singer, so you gotta give me a little bit of slack when I do stuff like that. I think it's actually really good whenever it comes on. It's also pretty catchy. The rest of the song also ain't that bad either. I was pleasantly surprised with this one. Another Kenny Starr song, and wow, it's country. It's fairly repetitive, all things considered, and nothing amazing, but I do appreciate the little bit of satire they did with the whole fact that, it's this big country star, and he's like, oh, I'm just this normal guy, and then he has, like, the eagle flying around with him. I think it's a funny song. Again, not anything absolutely incredible. This one actually pleasantly surprised me a little bit. It's not anything super memorable or amazing, and the beat is very generic because it's, like a stereotypical song that we hear in a lot of other shows and songs and whatever else. But it is definitely carried by Lord Doom, contrasting the happy upbeatness of the song with just like this really deep low voice. And I actually think he sings pretty well considering the voice he has to do. And you contrast that with the Molly and the scratch parts, and I think it's actually pretty fun. Also, does remind me a bit of a Steven Universe song. Take that as you will, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. I'll let you decide. This one, I think is actually pretty good. I really like the main part, the main school spirit, OO part. I'm not even going to try and sing anymore. My voice almost gave out when I said that. But yeah, other than that, it's nothing spectacular, but that main verse is really that good to push it up pretty high on the list. This is another one of the songs where it's just kind of the characters talking the whole time, but I really do like what we had for the song, like the parts where the characters aren't talking and or the background music while the characters are talking, I think is really solid. I just wish that was the whole song and it was less about the characters talking, if you know what I'm saying. This one is strange. I know this is one of the fan favorite songs, and before I talk about what I think of the song, I will give it this. It has been in my head for the past week, and I could not get it out. So yes, it's not my favorite, but it might actually be the most catchy thing on this list. And that is something that I can't say about a lot of these other songs. So, good things out of the way. Aside from this being another Andrea song, it's basically the same thing for a minute. They just keep saying Identity Crisis, rebrand a bunch of times. And I do like the sections in between where, it's her trying out different things. I think that's very fun, and it could be relatable for a lot of people, including myself. But it's just not perfect. There's a lot of things I don't like about the song, despite how catchy it is and how much it gets stuck in my head. But I don't know. It's just it's too much of the same for me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. With a lot of these earlier ones, you can definitely tell they're earlier in the series. But for this song specifically, I actually think it works in its favor. I think the whole dynamic between Scratch and Molly still being developing actually makes for a lot better of a song than when we get later in the series and their friendship is more developed. Because, right now in the show, they're still polar opposites, and I think that makes for genuinely some really good songs. So I really like the fact that it's Molly trying to get Scratch to do stuff, and he's being a grumpy baby and not wanting to do it. I think that works really well in its favor. I also think that the fast pace they did here works really well. That is my kind of music, and it works perfectly with the scene. Basically the same thoughts as the last one, but this one was first, and I think it does the dynamic between the two even better. Really, honestly, these two could go either way, 41 and 42. They could be switched around depending on the day. But for right now, I think this one gets senior privileges. I think it's a tiny bit better. But yeah, pretty much the same things as the last one. This song is genuinely really funny. I love this song for that. I will say, not the best musically. If we're ranking this based on, would I listen to it again? Probably not. But honestly, I think this one is really funny. I like that they kind of went a different direction with it. And I just like the scenarios Molly is trying to divert Libby from finding out about. I think it's really funny how Libby is just not buying any of it. And just the repeated line of everything is normal, everything is totally normal, is genuinely really funny. So while it might not be the most superb lyrically, I think it works really well for being a funny song. This one is pretty good, I'm not going to have a lot to say about all of these, and this is one of the ones that I just don't have a lot to say about. I will say, Molly sings this really well, which is why they should have gotten her to sing pretty much if not most of the songs in the show. They would have been so much better, so much improved. They just got the characters to sing it. I cannot stress this enough. But as for this song specifically, it's pretty good. For being a song not sung by the main cast, I actually like this one a lot. I think it's pretty funky, and considering the scene it's in, works decently. I think they could have done something a little bit better, but for what we got, I like it a lot. I like the anime ghost part. That part is genuinely pretty funny. And the rest of the song is just pretty good, and it feels like a song from the Ghost and Molly McGee. Like, it doesn't feel out of place at all, which is great. I think it's good to have a song like this every now and then. This one's really good, actually. It reminds me of that Making Memories song we talked about earlier, but actually done better, because it's talking about, the main cast at this point, and it's giving them, like, little cool introduction sequences, and it's just a really good song. I like this one. I do wish it was sung by the cast. You're probably catching on to this theme by now, but I think it works better for this song, because it's supposed to be parodying some kind of intro rather than just a random pop song, and I can forgive it for that. Otherwise, this is a good song. I like it. I think we're officially at the point where I like and or even love in some of these every song from here on out. So yeah, let's get into the good stuff. Starting with that masterpiece in you. Woo! I like this one a lot, actually. The animation is goddamn fantastic. If you watch the music video for any of them, I must recommend this one. They just get really fluent with some of the dances, and I can really appreciate that. And then the song itself, especially that main verse, the masterpiece in you main verse, I think is actually really catchy, and I can appreciate that. I really like this one, actually. I think it shows all the characters at their best. Everybody's on topic, in character, I guess you want to say. And everybody's kind of singing about what makes them them. And I think that's a really good song, especially for one of the last ones in the entire show. Granted, it does feel a little bit mismatched, and for most of the song, they are talk singing. But I would take talk singing any day over those generic voices they used before. Please, this is like what I want these songs to be, even though there's not really like a good tone to it, aside from when they're doing the give 'em joy part in the middle, like the main verse. I would take that any day. And I think a lot of these segments are also just really funny. The Jeff with the GE and Sharon's part make me actually really happy, because they're genuinely funny and pretty wholesome. And I think that this one is a really good song. This one kind of disappointed me a little bit. The beginning alone is genuinely one of my favorite songs on this whole list. I really like the cool blue visuals with the funky retro beat in the background. I think the beginning of the song is fantastic. One would even say top tier. But man, once we get past that first Pete section and the first scratch section, it just falls off. I'm sorry, but like halfway through the song, it's just not good. It goes from like an S tier song to a C tier song. It is, honestly, I know it's not that big of a difference, but it's just, it kind of doesn't do it for me halfway through, and that's honestly really disappointing. But you balance out an S, you balance out a C, you get around a B plus A tier, so that's still where I would put it. This is a cute little song, but it manages to do something that, in my opinion, a lot of these other songs, including a lot of the ones I put above this, don't really do. It made me feel something. It genuinely made me feel sad for the old lady. I don't remember her name, don't ask me. But the fact that they could encapsulate this feeling of, oh, this is actually a tragic thing that happened in her past, and I actually feel bad for her, is something incredible. Especially after I listen to like 60 songs that make me just feel pretty much nothing, aside from maybe a smile here and there. Like, if I said anything other than, oh, it made me happy or it made me smile, for any of the songs below it when I talk about my feelings on it, no. And that's why I think this one really does well. It's not a great song and the characters don't sing in it, but it's the fact that it hits you in the heart, I guess is the way to put it. It's not like devastating or like sad, but you can feel that there is something there. You feel like this is a real person that really struggled with something. And I think the vibe they went for, where it's like it's kind of, they put a filter on the screen that makes it look like it's in the past, and then the lyricist itself and the singer, I guess I should say, are singing really well and really high pitch as if it's like from the 80s or the 90s or whenever it's supposed to be, and I think that is pretty cool. This one is honestly just really fun. It has no right going as hard as it does. And it's actually one of the only ones on the list that I feel like it being fairly repetitive works out in its favor. Since the whole idea is like, oh, it's a magician competition, I feel like the repetitive nature of the lyrics actually works really well on that one. It also just goes really hard, which is a more important reason that I ranked it so high. This one is definitely carried by the tone it has. This one, as a song, again, is not amazing, but it's just in this really fun spy movie style, and they get really creative with some of the colors and some of the scenes, and I could gush about the animation all day, but again, this is about just the songs itself, and I actually think the song is really good for the scene it's in. Is it the best song in the show? No, but it works really well as a spy song, and I can really appreciate it. It's also another one that I don't really know if it counts as a song, because it is mostly just the characters talking the whole time, but according to the wiki, it is a song, and we'll count it here, and it's definitely more of a song than some of the ones earlier on the list, so I guess it counts as a song, and honestly, it's a fun little song. This one grew on me substantially, and you can mainly put that to the fact that this one, much like Identity Crisis, has been in my head for the past week, and I cannot get it out. Especially the main go back to City Hall, and then they start doing like the badooms after. It goes kind of hard, actually. I also just love that they did a different style here than the usual upbeat happiness that you're expecting, or in a weird trend, kind of the hard rocky ones that they were doing more towards the end of the show. I think that this one is really good. I think that all the past mayors sing really well, and I honestly just love to see a song that's not about a character we see every time, like the mayor. I think that's a really good idea, and I think it really elevates the song. Alright, this one is going to make me sound hypocritical, but the singer that sings this song, even though it's not the main cast, sings it really well. I also just really like the vibe of this one. It honestly really surprised me, because as nothing as an episode as this was, yes, I will fight you on that if you really want, this song really stood out when I was listening to all of these in a row. It was like one of the ones I did towards the end, because I kind of went alphabetically. So when I got to the P section, which is, closer to Z than it is to A, little alphabet lesson, I guess, I just heard a bunch of like mediocre song after mediocre song, and then I heard this one, and I was genuinely really impressed, and it reminded me why I was doing this video. Because this show can have genuinely good songs when you're not expecting it, and that's exactly what this one did for me. It just stands out a lot, and I really like the singer, which is extremely surprising considering how much I dislike strongly, I guess is a better word, the songs earlier that were not sung by the main cast. So, yeah. If I had to pick one word to describe this one, I would say cinematic. There's a lot of scenes in this song, especially the one I chose for the thumbnail, where like the ghosts are just flying around, and Molly's hitting those high notes really well. And I really like it, actually. I like the vibe they're going for here, which I know I'm saying a lot, but as somebody that's not super familiar with music, there isn't a lot I can say about the songs I like other than they have a good vibe to them. And honestly, I guess it's a bit of a hot take, I think this is when Ollie was at his best. I liked it when the McGees and the Chens were at war with each other, It was all v all. There was no one traitor Chen like Ollie working on the side with Molly against, saving ghosts or whatever the plot was. I think it works best that with him as the villain and as the love interest. And I think the song perfectly encapsulates that moment of time that I really wish they focused on more on the show. This one is genuinely so wholesome, it actually melts my heart a little bit. Spoiler for later, I guess, all of the Christmas songs they've done in this show kind of slap, because it is kind of hard to mess up Christmas music, even though you would be surprised at how many bad Christmas songs I've heard. But that's not the point. Scratch and Jeff kind of having a solo number here, you know, without Molly, without any of the Chens, without Jeff with a J, really makes this one stand out to me, because it's much like a song we would have heard in Season 1, but it's Season 2 Scratch where he's all nice and friendly towards Molly, while still being his lazy self, and it's honestly adorable. And on top of all that, the song also kind of slaps. There are definitely strange parts. Like, I really like the main verse, the main DIY this Christmas part, and a lot of the lyrics with Scratch are cute, but the other ones are kind of hit or miss. Like, there are some lines, especially towards the middle, like that weird pinata section, where I just don't really care that much, I'm sorry, and I'm just like, alright, let's get to the good part of the song again. But it's a Christmas song. I don't really expect it to go hard all the time, and that's why I think it works so well. Because it's genuinely just a really good and sweet Christmas song. I can't believe I almost missed this one. So, this song is actually not on the wiki, and or I skipped past it. Which both are possible. I really should have checked, but hey, I'm not a professional. But I just love this song a lot. I love how exaggerated it is. Like, they get really cool with the visuals, where Scratch is basically just pestering Molly, and then she's like in this Victorian like dress, and they get really hard with some of the lyrics, and I really appreciate that. I think that Molly is singing at her best here, where they have her high pitched, but not like ear piercingly, high pitched. And then there's also Scratch providing good comic relief, and it would be nice if he was singing, but honestly, I think it works better without him. I think him kind of pestering Molly to sing these giant dramatic lyrics work really well in its favor. And this is just an all-around good song. Alright, pause the video for 1 second. We'll get on to number 25 in just 1 second. But I just read the line for It's a Lose-Lose, my notes above it. And there happens to be a song above it I realized I missed. Okay. I love you guys with a passion, I really do. But I am not refilming and re-editing all of those slides and all of those voices I just did. So I'm going to throw it in here, and you guys can't tell me I missed it. The song is You've Been Jinxed, and it's a B tier song. And my B tiers, I'm going to look at my notes real quick. My B tiers are around the 50s. So why don't we call this one number 52, okay, and move on with our lives. I will read exactly what it says right here. Past Me said it's pretty weak. Actually, most of Jinx's songs are really good and memorable, but not this one. It's pretty weird and forgettable, and some of the lines lose me a little bit. Not the worst, but also not the best. Okay. I hope I did not forget any other ones, because that would be a shame. I've already forgotten 2 and had to put them in post. So please, I really don't want future me to come in here and pick another one. So yes, it is 96 songs, but I'm only putting 95 in the title because that's what I said in the intro. I want to get this video done, and I want to start filming new videos for this channel in the future. So I'm sorry if this upsets you. It does bother me a little bit, but we're going to have to live with it, alright? So this is what, number 52, You've Been Jinxed. Let's go back to where we actually are in the list and work on number 25, shall we? This one is incredible at certain points, genuinely. It's such a weird song, but at the same time, I really love it. That main verse they do towards the end, the Seeing Spiders one at the end, goes so hard. It might honestly be one of my favorite verses from the whole show. We'll get to that later in the top 10. But man, this is another one just like the Dance With Me one, where it just kind of sucks for the rest of it. For example, there's like a Molly and Daryl section in the middle, and they just talk, and they just talk, and I'm like, come on. I honestly just skip ahead when it happens. I really wish they just didn't include that in the song and waited till after. And honestly, it would have gone up probably to the top 10 if they did that. But just the rest of the song, aside from having like mildly funny moments, like the food thing with Scratch where he throws it away, and then Sharon says, "Oh, that's a first." That's really funny, but you know, it's just not great aside from the main verse, which is really disappointing. Spoilers, I guess. This is the final song in the whole show. It is the final credits music of the last episode, so, the finale of season 2. And that definitely raises it a lot artificially. It makes me emotional, and it's just like the Bad Boy Brian is one of those ones that, because it gives me feeling, I respect a lot more, and obviously the feelings with this one are a lot stronger than just some random season 1 episode. So yeah, it's not super long, it's pretty short. It's not sung by the main cast or anything, but I think in this case that works out okay in its favor. It's also just pretty short, all things considered. I believe it's like 30 seconds long, so half the length of a normal song, which for a credits song I guess makes sense. So yeah, I think the song itself is fine, but I think where it is in the series definitely raises it up to pretty high on the list. I love the vibes of this one a lot. It's a very opera-y kind of song where it's just them basically saying Killjoy, but kind of in an opera kind of voice, which is just high-pitched and kind of singing it. And I actually like this a lot. I think it's one of the songs that fits Jinx as a character, at least in this point, very well. And especially because of when I listened to it, which was like halfway through every song, something different like this definitely stands out a lot to me. And I respect that. I know I say respect a lot, but I don't really know a better word for it. I think that it has a cool vibe to it. I think the visuals are great, and I think it's just overall a pretty fun song. This is by far the best theme song takeover they've done. I know they've only done 3, so it's not really saying a lot, but I actually really like this one a lot. I still think it's worse than the original intro, but that's just kind of going to happen when it reverses the intro, if you know what I'm saying. And honestly, as much as I like Andre as a character, she is not the best singer in the world, and you can tell here, and with a lot of the other ones where they would just auto-tune her, like the jingle she did earlier, and Identity Crisis barely has her singing in it. I feel like they knew she wasn't a great singer, and it's a little lackluster here, but it's definitely her best of the ones I've heard so far. And the lyrics are not great, especially the ones that she's singing. Definitely carried high by Molly and Scratch's rebuttals, because for some reason, they made those rebuttals go so hard and fit so well with the intro. It's actually kind of impressive. Also, unlike the other theme song takeovers, they're actually part of the song. So, if you think of Libby or Daryl's theme song takeover, it's basically just Libby or Daryl singing the whole time. Well, in this one, it feels like the 3 of them are singing. It feels like Molly and Scratch are all singing together, which I think kind of elevates it to pretty high on my list. I actually really like this one, and hear me out. I know it's a sad song, but I think that works in its favor. Because by this point in this episode, you know what's going to happen. You know exactly how the episode's going to end. I won't say it in case you haven't seen it, but Libby singing this upbeat and happy song about reuniting with her father, and how her mother will be happy again, or whatever, is just really tragic, because you know what's going to happen. You know her father's going to be an asshole, but, that's what makes the song so good. You see that how much this means to Libby and how much it's going to hurt when her dad eventually leaves her again. And I think that is a fantastic idea for a song like this. Man, for such a nothing episode, this one actually goes really hard. This is definitely one of the more underrated ones I've heard so far. A lot of the ones in my top 10 people have talked about a lot, saying they like them and whatever. But this one I hear basically nobody talk about, and I think that's a bit of a shame. I really like this one. It definitely took a few rewatches to grow on me, but it's really catchy, especially the main line of "You Gotta Be Low Key." I think it goes really hard, and some of the visuals they do, probably the one I picked, and some of the stuff with Jinx just goes really well with the song. And I think it just really fits the theme of sneaking around, trying not to be seen, and I actually really like that. Now, this one may seem shockingly low to you. You think the intro would be in, top 10, maybe even top 5. But I think that this can really attest to the songs I put above it, that I find them better than the intro to the show. But the intro itself is perfect. Aside from maybe hearing it one too many times, it being the intro, I think that this is extremely catchy and fits the show incredibly well. It shows the dynamic between Molly and Scratch, especially in the earlier episodes, perfectly. The singing is on point, and for a while, before I even started watching the show, I listened to this intro and thought it was fantastic. Yeah, great intro. It's just maybe a little bit overplayed, and I know what that sounds like, but remember, this is my list, and if this is what I think of a song, that's what I think of a song. It's nothing about the song itself, it's just that I've heard it one too many times. I love this song. It's basically just a better version of the Everything is Totally Normal song from earlier, but it's kind of the opposite way around. So it's Molly starting off normal, and then slowly, or not even that slowly, pretty quickly, losing her sanity over the course of the song. And some of these lyrics and faces she makes halfway through are unhinged in the best way possible. It is honestly incredible and very funny. Also, as a side note, the Molly singing here is actually pretty great, considering she's supposed to be, losing it a little bit. I think that she still sings really well, even when she's trying to act crazy. So, that's just an attest to how good of a singer Molly's voice actor is. This one I actually like a lot. And I am just really glad it's not only because of the representation. Because a lot of those ones earlier in the list that I would say, oh, I like the representation, but the song isn't good, doesn't apply here. I think this song is great alongside the representation. I think it's really catchy, the lyrics are extremely fun, and it's definitely in that era where Molly and Scratch are at each other's throats, and I think that's really funny and works really well here. Because, well, yes, they're at each other's throats. In this song, they're on the same page. And it's kind of just a different vibe than a lot of the earlier ones have. And I really like that about it. I was very pleasantly surprised with this one. Because when I first heard the name of it, I was like, oh, this is just going to be another boring We Can Do It song. That would end up towards the middle of the list. But no. This one's actually phenomenal. I think that the upbeat expressions, which contrasted with Ollie's fucking face for half of it, where he's just sad and kind of mopey, is honestly fantastic. And it definitely ups the song for me and make me enjoy it more. Also, it's just very upbeat and happy, which for this one in particular works really well, and I can appreciate that. This is the big thing, I like how everybody is singing. I've complimented the ones earlier that have that one character singing, I'll say, oh, I'm just so glad Molly's singing this one instead of just some generic voice. In this one, everybody's singing it, which is fantastic, because it's like an upbeat, cheery song. The fact that they got everybody from throwing a Marilyn in there to that teacher at some point, I think is a fantastic idea for a song like this, and works really well. So yeah, I love this song, which genuinely surprised me when I first heard it. This one just reminds me of the wait for season 2, because a week or two before the first episode premiered, I believe they put this up on their channel, and I watched it before the first episode, so maybe that's kind of skewing my judgment a little bit, but I think this song is really good. I think it's really catchy, especially the main verse. I know you're probably sick of me saying that, but for a lot of these, that's the main factor as to why I like them. And I think that the Ghost Council and Scratch work really well off each other. Kind of like the last one with Ollie and Molly. Except for this time, it's Scratch and the other ghosts. So it's somebody who's incredibly lazy and somebody who's incredibly strict. Compared to just, oh, he's nice and she's nice. It's a different kind of vibe, and I really like that. And it also gets really wholesome. There's the whole part with the lute. And it sounds pretty good musically, which is impressive considering it's about a lute. And it's also just a really sweet and wholesome part, which I can really appreciate. Much like DIY this Christmas, I just really like the Christmas songs from this show. And honestly, this one is even better. It's basically just a weird fusion of DIY this Christmas and This Is Brighton's Year. Because the reason I like this one is the same as those. It's this cute little Christmas song, it's catchy, everybody sings well, blah, blah, blah. But also, with the Brighton's Year one, I liked it because everybody was singing, and that's the case here. Everybody gets a verse, from the mayor, who's voiced by the rat from Ratatouille, to even Andrea and her father get a line here and there. And I just think that's really cute, especially for a Christmas song. I think that works even better than the Brain's Ear one. So yeah, basically just a fusion of two really good songs made an even better song. Who would have thought? This one has an extremely strong opening. I think that the very fast-paced nature and the really catchy lyrics hit you really off guard when you get later into the episode, which we'll get to, trust me. So it does make me sad, a little bit sad on rewatch. But honestly, even looking past that, this song is just really good. Molly's parts especially, when she's like, oh, we had a ball, that kind of stuff, it just works so well. And I love those parts. Scratch's parts definitely work less well as a song, but definitely add to the part later in the episode where, all the sad stuff happens. So, each part has a purpose. One sounds good, one makes me feel stuff. And that's just a really good thing for a song like this. Well, this song is genuinely really good. And the obvious theme song joke aside, this one is just surprising because it isn't sung by any cast members. And I don't know, I think I shouldn't like it, but I really do. I just think that whoever they got to sing this is a really good singer, and combined with just the tone and vibe of the song, makes it genuinely really good, and that's something I can't really say about a lot of these other ones. So yes, am I hypocritical? Probably, but this one's really good. I don't have a good way of describing it, so just listen to it, and you can see what I mean. It's different in the best possible way. I think this one is really good. This is just a reprise of the song I'm going to talk about next. It's basically just the same thing, but I like the other one better. So let's talk about that one instead. Man, I love the final countdown. This one is really good. It has a lot of charm and character in it, and you can tell that it's definitely the mid-series finale of season 1, just with the way they go so hard on the song unnecessarily. And honestly, that's kind of awesome. There's just a lot of funny parts, and whoever they got to sing this does just a genuinely really good job with it. So yeah, funny song, good lyrics, good beat, all around a good one. Guys, I cannot get this one out of my head. Even more than Identity Crisis earlier, this one just doesn't leave. And I love that. It's just a really good song. It reminds me of a lot of just fun Halloween songs, which is definitely what they were going for here. And then they have really nice callbacks in the song. We see Abe Lincoln, Howlin' Harriet, and others again. And I think it's just a really genuine banger of a song that'll get stuck in your head. And it's not even banger oh man, the beat's so good. It's just the voice, whoever's singing this, and the words they were given just work really, really well. It is stupid catchy. How many ways can you say something is incredible? I am not kidding. I know this is only number 8, but honestly, if I re-rank this all again, just because of how many times this has got stuck in my head and I've listened to it again, it might honestly be in the top 3. But, oh my god, this one is so good. It's short, again, and I feel if they extended it a little bit more, it is a minute, that's the length of all of these, but every other song on the list does feel it has a start and an end. This one feels when it ends, it's just getting started, which is genuinely really sad, but oh my god, every line in this song hits. Molly's performance is probably her best in the whole show, and Scratch's parts are really good, but they're not as good as Molly's. And he also has the funnier lines, which I guess makes up for it, but oh my god, the main part, the trying to find what you're hiding in your mind, yes, that's the name of the song, don't know why they made it so long, is just so good, and I cannot, for the life of me, stop singing it. It's just, wow, even when I was thinking through all, 80-something songs up to this point, I was thinking of this song, because this song has stuck in my head the most out of any of these. And I feel honestly, it might be the best in the whole show. Go listen to this one right now. You will not regret it. I think there's 2 main reasons I like this one as much as I do. A, I think my soft spot for country music is showing a little bit here. I also just love how it sounds like a real song. I could hear this on the radio and it would totally fit. But it's also just longer than a lot of these other ones, and I think that only makes it better. You know, most of these songs are either like 45 seconds to a minute and a half. I believe this one, if you count that talking section towards the end, is around 2 minutes long. And that's fantastic. I think for this song, it works absolutely really well. I also just think this one is really sweet and wholesome. I think that the fact that this famous country star or whatever wrote about this small family, and you can see it in the lyrics, but it's not like said out loud. It's not like, oh, the song's about the McGees. It's like it could be about anybody. But we know because of the visuals, it's about the McGees doing their day-to-day things. And I think that is genuinely really sweet. Might honestly be the sweetest song on the whole list. So yeah, it's a genuine, real good song. Like, I could hear this on the radio and be like, that's a pretty good song. Not to mention the fact that Sharon killed it with that triangle solo at the end. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. This song is really great. I'm definitely running out of ways to say that about a lot of these, but I love how sea shanty Green Day it is, if that makes any sense, and the kind of vibe they have going. That is a kind of song I really like and appreciate. And Jinx herself, despite not being like one of my favorite characters, especially at this point in the show, really kills it here with her performance. I genuinely love how she sings. Also, just the lyrics are so Molly McGee in the best possible way. Like, they managed to fit kittens and boba tea in a way that makes sense and sounds decent musically. And I cannot think of a better line to represent the music of this show, especially after listening to all of it 3 times, I'm pretty sure. It's just like the perfect culmination of everything. You know, it's a good song. It fits the show incredibly well. And it just looks really nice. You know, the animation is fantastic, especially the parts where her face is fading in. You know, the singer's really good. I could keep going on about how good this one is, but I'm just saying, it's a really good song. Okay, hear me out. I know this is not everybody's pick for the top 5 songs, especially this one. This one is a strange pick, but I feel like these 5 songs are genuinely the best the show has to offer. And this one is no exception. This one caught me off guard. This one kind of slaps, honestly. Especially the middle bit where Molly's like crossing out the newspapers. I'm not going to try and sing. You can listen to the song. Hits so genuinely hard. It's actually kind of crazy. And they managed to make the word sus fit into the song incredibly well. No, I am not kidding. They use the word sus, and the song ends with Libby going into a vent. And they made it work. I know it probably wasn't intentional and they did it for the rhyming of the song, but it did make me whinge a little bit when I heard it at first. But if you look past that, it goes really hard, and I love that. And then the ending itself, where Libby does get stuck in the vent, is just incredibly funny. It reminds me of the one in, like, Stop the Chens or whatever, where the ending of the song is Molly and Ollie getting flung into some old guy's ass, except for it's better because it's not actually gross, it's actually kind of funny. You know? It's just like, and I'm stuck, and then the song ends. That is really funny, and you combine that with just a really good song, and I would say that's top 5 material, which I know is definitely a hot take, but hey, my list. This song right here, this song is the reason I was so hard on those Molly x Ollie songs in the beginning of the video, because this song is genuinely incredible, and it's just like Small Town America, where it could be just like a normal song I hear on the radio, and it would totally fit, and I love that. Just the main verse of this song sounds like a really good pop song. And I am saying a lot about my musical taste here. A big fan of pop music. Yes, I am a big fan of pop music. I'll put that out on the internet forever. Fine, whatever. And I think that this one is just really, really good in terms of just like pop songs. And I like that a lot. I was really impressed, especially because I heard this one after the 2 ones I did earlier, which is why I had to rewrite those later. So I was like, oh, it's just the pink hair girl again. She's not going to be that good. And it was so good, I bothered to look up her name. It's Atomic Pink. You're welcome. This one is... I was really surprised with this one. Honestly, go listen to this one if you haven't already. It's just really good. I absolutely adored this one. Remember a few songs ago, I think Back to Misery, I said I was a big fan of sea shanties? This one is just straight up a sea shanty, and it has no right going as hard as it does. This was like one of the first ones I did, because obviously it now starts with a B. And it really made me want to do this video even more, because it is awesome. It's a sea shanty, and it sounds really, really good, actually. This was like the first one on the whole list that I was like, man, that is definitely top 10 right there. And I knew right away. Honestly, I thought it would be number one, but there were two that I thought were better. We'll get to those in a second. But this one is a sea shanty mixed with Molly McGee, and they work so well together. You know, it's this ghost shark who's trying to get them in their bedroom while they're throwing stuffed animals at it, and it just works so well and fits the series it's in so well, while also just sounding incredible. And it's a sea shanty. You really can't go wrong with that. This is just a banger overall. This one was my number one pick for a while, but I decided against it, and here's why. I know what you're thinking. Why is the Happy Happy Death Day in your number 2 slot? If you have not listened to this song, you are honestly missing out. It is so incredibly fast-paced, but every line and note hits. Not to mention that every character of the main cast, the entire family of McGee's, you get Libby, you get Jeff with a GE, it's incredible. They all get their lines, and they all sound so good. As well as just that opening bit where they're singing Happy Happy Death Day is A, really funny, and B, just sounds absolutely incredible. I was never at one point bored with this song, and I never ever thought that it was a bad song when I was listening to it. It was so good, I had to listen to it like 3 times before I could write what I thought about it. And even then, I just kept writing, oh, it's so good, the beats are awesome, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, I love how all the characters are singing. You know, at the beginning, you can hear Pete because he has a much lower voice than everybody else. But when you get into the solo sections, it's just everybody's at their best singing-wise, and it's genuinely incredible. I love it. I love the song a lot. However, there is one song that is better, and we'll get to that right now. Alright, real quick spoiler warning for this one. If you've not seen the finale, now is your chance to click off. Although if you haven't, I'm surprised you made it to the number 1 song before clicking off, but, you know, you do you, I guess. This song is really beautiful, and I love it. It's one of those things where it's like the songs that make me feel something. You know, Bad Boy of Brighton, My Life Was Awesome, Me and My Dad. Those ones are just really good in a way I can't describe. And this one genuinely tears me up when I saw it for the first time, and even on repeat watches, I can feel tears coming on. And, well, I know what happens in the ending. It's not as sad, but when I first saw it, it's just depressing. And I think it's depressing in the perfect way. It's Scratch just threw his life away, and you can tell in his voice that he is kind of just hopeless with it. You know, there's that one comedy line in the middle with the nachos, and you could just tell that he is dead on the inside while saying it. And I love that for him. I think this is the culmination of not only his character, but the whole show. Granted, it's not my favorite song in the whole show. I would actually say maybe the next 4 songs, Happy Happy Death Day, Battle with the Beast, Orange Dreams, and maybe like Back to Misery, I think are just better songs than this one. But I could not, in good faith, rank them above this. This song has so much emotion, so much heart put into it, and it can genuinely get me emotional that it could not be anything but number 1. Alright, so now I'm going to do something I see a lot of people doing in these ranking videos where they just kind of read it off at the end. And I actually really like that idea, in case you kind of forgot one song or think I missed one. So I am going to read off all of them, all 96, including the 2 I missed in editing, in order from number 96 to number 1. I'm just going to say the number and then the name of the song. If you want to hear me talk about the actual song, in case you skipped ahead to this, Just go back to when I talked about it. I don't see why that would be a problem. All right, so number 96, I'm looking for toes. Number 95, It's Always Sunny in Sunnyland. Number 94, Told You. Number 93, Stuff Your Face. Number 92, I Can Count on You. Number 91, Silly McGee. Number 90, Everybody Pitches In. Number 89, It's Nice to Be Nice. Number 88, I Have a Voice. Number 87, Good Luck, Bad Luck. Number 86, Win Is On My Mind. Number 85 is GOAT or GOAT. Number 84, If You Believe. Number 83, I Keep Ending Up With You. Number 82, Turn Up Twist. Number 81, Take a Second Chance on Me. Number 80, Obstruction. Number 79, Just One Click. Number 78, There Goes My Heart. Number 77, Get Into the Game. Number 76, Frustration. Number 75, You Gotta Go So Big. Number 74, Cracking Eggs. Number 73, Stop the Chins. Number 72, Playing Hooky. Number 71 is Giggin' for a Livin'. Number 70 is The Ballad of Farmer Scratch. Number 69 is Deep Fried Food. Number 68 is The Ballad of Ezekiel Tugbottom. Number 67, The Ballad of Sally Tugbottom. Number 66, Glowing Up. Number 65, Making Memories. Number 64, Just Give. Number 63, Daryl's Theme Song Takeover. 62 is Abraham Lincoln, in parentheses, rap. Number 61 is Culture Cram. Number 60 is Inhappify. Number 59 is Libby's Theme Song Takeover. Number 58 is Fear of Nothing at All. 57 is Sleep Overnight. 56 is Second Chance, in parentheses, At Glory. Number 55 is Movie Magic. Number 54 is Feeling Like My Old Self Again. Number 52 is You've Been Jinxed. 51 is Andrea's Davenport Jingle. Number 50, No More Distractions. 49, We Can Change Climate Change. 48, Who's Got the Goods? 47, Ordinary Guy. 46, Frightful No More. 45, School Spirits. 44, Searching for Grandma Nin. 43, Identity Crisis. 42, Awesome Best Friends Day. 41, Together Forever. 40, Everything is Totally Normal. 39, You're Hardly Working. 38, Happy. 37, Ghost Friends. 36, That Masterpiece in You. 35, Give 'Em Joy. 34, Dance With Me. 33, The Bad Boy of Brighton. 32, Magician Competition. 31, Soda Plan. 30, Go Back to City Hall. 29, Prepare to Be Scared. 28, Ghosts Aren't the Enemy. 27, DIY This Christmas. 26, It's a Lose-Lose. 25, Seeing Spiders. 24, Live a Little. 23, Killjoy. 22, Andrea's Theme Song Takeover. 21, Me and My Dad. 20, You Gotta Be Low Key. 19 is the intro. 18, There's No Way I'm Missing a Snow Day. 17, My Best Friend's Bat Mitzvah. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Number 16, This Is Brighton's Year. 15, Enjoy Your Afterlife. 14, Christmas in Brighton. 13, My Life Was Awesome. 12, Hit Restart. 11, Two Best Friends. 10, One Best Friend. 9, This House is Haunted Now. 8, Trying to Find What You're Hiding in Your Mind. That's a mouthful. Number 7, Small Town America. Number 6, Back to Misery. Number 5, Snoop for a Scoop. Number 4, Orange Dreams. 3, Battle with the Beast. 2, Happy Happy Death Day. And number 1, Maybe Next Time. And yeah, that's the list. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was a blast to make, honestly. And I just really hope you're excited for the new Smash Time 2, where hopefully things will be more interesting in the future. But yeah, this is a video I'm very proud of, and I hope that you also enjoy it. And I hope you don't disagree with my opinions too much. Just take them with a grain of salt. You know, it is my list. I would love to see yours. But yeah, that's that. I think I'm gonna wrap things down here. Maybe Molly McGee Season 2 review in the future. I'm doing this thing where I do not make promises for anything. So if I don't do it, do not be surprised, alright? But thank you all very much for watching. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it. I want you to remember to take care of yourselves because mental health is important. And I'll see you all, hopefully soon, for my next video. And ta-ta for now.